What's going on, team? Keith here, and today I'm going to show you real quick about how to register your business through the DoD Skillbridge site, so that way you can capitalize on the talent pool of approximately 200,000 military members that transition each year. So step one is DoD Skillbridge on Google. Step two, go to industry partners and employers. Step three, how to participate. Step four, type of industry, agency. You get your first name, last name, type of industry or agency. What level of experience are you seeking? So what this means, enlisted less than 5 years. This is the younger enlisted that did one enlistment and they got out. This is enlisted more than 5 years. Sometimes this is one enlistment whenever they have extended. And then enlisted any could go all the way up to 30 years. And then officer, and then or any enlisted or officer. One thing to keep in mind between enlisted and officer is that if you are an officer, you come into the military with your degree and you go straight into a leadership / managerial role. I'll speak in Air Force terms here. As a young lieutenant, they will go straight to a flight. Sometimes, a lot of times, and they're working with a senior enlisted person, and this person could be a master, senior master, or chief. And basically what they do is they do all of the administrative stuff that is required to keep that flight moving, just like a manager or CEO would do with a business. Whereas you're enlisted less than 5 years, they're kind of coming in and they're the worker bees, right? And I'll tell you, they are exceptionally talented and they are used to being thrown into incredibly difficult situations and learning how to create solutions on the fly. And I'll tell you, the longer you've been in, the better you are able to do that. And you kind of start out learning your job like you would in the corporate world, and then by the time you have been in for 10 to 12 years, you kind of go from being really good at your job to really now it's time to learn how people work. So I will say our biggest, or at least my biggest target for this video is enlisted less than 5 years. Highly trainable. So if you have a position that's open that maybe isn't quite what matches their resume or etc., so on and so forth, I would say just please give it a shot, because you could pretty much train any of us on anything unless it's like super complex. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and move down a little further. So here, what's a brief description of what your job is? And the second, what branch are you interested in working with? The old tale that the Army or Navy is better than the Air Force, or the Air Force is better than Marines. Marines is the best branch of all. It doesn't matter. We all produce the same quality of personnel after that first enlistment. Now, obviously, once you've been in for a really long time, the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps, say you've been in for 20, 26, 30 years, personalities are going to be a little bit different just by the way that these branches work, but you're always going to get top notch. A button right here, I would please, if you can, I am willing to retrain military personnel. This goes right back to what I was talking about before, is that we are incredibly moldable. And that's kind of our forte, is that you can put us anywhere and we are going to adapt and overcome. So if you can, that is the way to go, because you are going to find absolute hidden gems that are getting out of the military that maybe don't have a bachelor's degree, or maybe they don't have a whole bunch of experience for etc., so on and so forth. But if you need a certain personality type or a certain person that's going to fit the team, that's going to be motivated, that's going to be innovative, etc., take a chance, because I think you'd be very surprised about who is out there that maybe doesn't have all of those written credentials, if you will. Then obviously I'm looking for military personnel with specific training and experience. So e.g. plumbing, etc. So every branch, whether it's Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, we all have civil engineering. We all have some way to fix buildings, to fix the plumbing, to do electricity, electrical issues, generators, etc., so on and so forth, you name it, right? So think of any type of trade in the civilian world. The military is going to have that as well. So enter a brief description again. If you have any comments or questions, right? Your email address, verify your email address, then put your phone number. Of course, you're not a robot. Click submit, and then let the system kind of get back to you and walk you through how to do this so you're not by yourself on it, because it is kind of complicated. But with that said, we are going to run through something real quick because I kind of want to show you what the next portion of our Skillbridge video is going to be. So we're going to click under resources right here. Go down, and then Skillbridge Provider Handbook. This is where all of that in-depth nitty-gritty knowledge is that you would need to know to kind of get your training program up and going, and you know, other things like that you would hand down to maybe human resources or one of your managers. And they're not as hard as you would think. There are templates out there for everything, especially if you just plug into our Facebook group, Skillbridge and Veteran Employment Network. There's probably going to be somebody somewhere that has a template for you that you can use that will help you out. But with that said, that's going to conclude this video, and until next time, I appreciate you hanging out. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, share the video, and we'll see you next time.